Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Mr. Pot coming to you live from my office at home for the first and only time ever. Well, not only, so I'm going to do another video, so not the only time. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to be talking about section 1.6, which is dealing with composition of functions, because we can all read and you can see what is on the screen. You may want to go ahead and get all of these definitions down. Basically, this is just saying if you see this, so if you see f plus g of x, you have the function f of x plus the function g of x. Whatever order comes in on the left-hand side, it will come in on the right-hand side when you actually try to simplify the thing as well. Same thing for difference, subtraction though. Same thing for product, but multiplication. Same thing for quotient, but it's division. The only kind of weird one that we are going to be dealing with that may trip you up a little bit, but you got it. I know you got it. You guys are so smart. It is composition. This says f of g. That is supposed to be an open dot. I promise I draw it correctly. It is supposed to be an open dot. I pronounce this f of G, and I kind of think the O is my open dot, right? O, they're both open. Whoa, it looks like it's moving super fast. It is moving super fast, but you can't see it. Ah! Okay, and all that means to do is f of g of x. Okay, function composition. If you were to see it in this order, g of f, that would mean we would do g of f of x. Okay, so whatever order you see it in, you will do it in that same order. All right, go ahead and get your rules down, pause the video, whatever you need to do. If you haven't gotten them down already, make sure you listen to me talk to that again. Talk to you. Anyways, whatever, get them down, you got it. All right, here's the first example that we are going to look at. You will see something like this. Find f plus g of x, which just remember means f of x plus g of x, and find f minus g of x. So I'm going to do this part first. I'll do it in pink so that you can see the differences between the two. So just remember this is the same thing as saying f of x plus g of x, which the function f of x is x minus 9. So I can say x minus 9 plus what g of x is, so plus x plus 5. Notice when I substituted these in, I have the parentheses, just in case I need to distribute something. So make sure you always have the parentheses there, just to make sure that you are doing everything properly. So then we would have this simplifies to x minus 9. This is plus x plus 5. X and x will make 2x altogether. Negative 9 and 5 will make minus 4. And that would be that. Yay. And for this part, I will do it in po-po. Purple, not policeman. So this would be f of x minus g of x, where again, f of x is still x minus 9, so I will still say x minus 9 minus, and here's where the parentheses are muy importante, because they actually come in play, because we need to distribute this negative to both the x and the 5. Because now in simplifying this, we would have x minus 9 minus x minus 5. Well, x minus x is 0, so that makes a 0 pair. And then negative 9 minus 5 is negative 14, and that would be the simplification of that one. Hey-o, happy day. All right, looking at another example. This time it looks like we have multiplication and division. Remember that, I hope that you guys are pausing the video. You're actually writing down the problem. You're thinking about how you could possibly do it, especially if you guys are reviewing. Try these, and then you can watch my explanation. It will help a lot more than just copying it down. Just copying it down will do nothing, I promise. So help yourselves out. So with this multiplication one, remember this just means f of x times g of x. Well, I know f of x is x minus 7 times g of x is x plus 7. Oops, other parentheses. And then it's just a distribution. So I have x squared minus 7x plus 7x minus 49. So really this is just x squared minus 49. Okay, with your division one, this is f of x divided by g of x. So I have x minus 7 over x plus 7. Nothing simplifies, so that's as far as you can take that one. Alright, looking at our next example. Go ahead and remember to pause the video, copy it down, and here we go. So with this one, this is still multiplication, so f of x times g of x. So I have f of x is x over 4. G of x is x to the 4th. These are going to multiply together because this is like x to the 4th over 1. So x times x to the 4th is x to the 5th divided by 4. There's that part. Okay, with our division one, we would have f of x over g of x. So I would have x over 4 divided by x to the 4th, multiplied by the reciprocal, so 1 over x to the 4th, and 1 over x to the 4th. So I will have x over 4x to the 4th which I have 1 on top, 4 on bottom, so that will simplify to 1 over 4x cubed. Cool. Here we go, last one of this type. So with this, we have f times g of x again, so I can say square root of x plus 6 times square root x minus 4. These will multiply on the insides, so I will have the square root of x squared, what is that, minus 4x plus 6x minus 24. So really this is the square root of x squared plus 2x minus 24. And that would be it for that one. Nothing will simplify inside there. For our other side, with division, we are going to have square root of x plus 6 over square root x minus 4. I can rationalize this by multiplying by the square root x minus 4 on top and bottom. Well, I know this will multiply to be this, so I can just say that is what it will be on top. So I have x squared plus 2x minus 24 all over, that's a 4x minus 4. Alrighty. Alright. Okay, looking at our first function composition. Remember this says f of g of x, so I can rewrite that as f of g of x, just like that. Now I know g of x is this part over here, the x squared plus 8, so really isn't this f of x squared plus 8? Right, that's what g of x is. They are the same. G of x is x squared plus 8, so g of x is x squared plus 8. Right, so that's just substitution. So now it's telling me to go to the f function and substitute in x squared plus 8 wherever I see x there. So I can say now that this is the square root of x squared plus 8, and that has minus 2, so minus 2. Right, all I did was just substitute in x squared plus 8 wherever I saw x in my f function. Cool, and then it's just a matter of simplifying it from there. There's nothing to distribute with this, so this is just x squared plus 8 minus 2 is 6. So I have the square root of x squared plus 6. Okay, going the other way, now it says g of f of x, so I'll say g of f of x. So just like we did in the other one where we substituted the g of x function, now it just wants us to substitute the f of x function. So I can say this is the same thing as g of square root x minus 2. Take this function on the inside here, substitute it for the x in this function. So I have square root x minus 2 squared, because the x is squared, plus 8. Well, if I square itself, that's just going to come out as x minus 2, and then I have plus 8. So really this is just x plus 6. Cool. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. Well, let's do another. Alright, we're actually getting pretty close to being done with this video. After this one I have, looks like 4 more for you guys, but they'll go super fast. They're even faster than these. Okay, so with this one, find f of g of x. That's the only thing we're doing in here. So f of g of x, make sure you read these appropriately. It goes in the same order that this does, f of g of x, so f of g of x. Okay, and then I can substitute in my g of x function. So I have f of x squared plus 6. And then I can take this x squared plus 6, substitute it where I see x in this function, because that's my f function, f of x squared plus 6. So hey, oh, yay. So I have 2 over x squared plus 6 minus 3. Well, it's just a matter of simplifying the bottom. So this will simplify to 2 over x squared plus 3. And that would be it. Alright, here's the last one we're going to be looking at in this video. Yay! We're so happy! Yay! Okay. Anyways, find the values given the functions. We are given the function f of x and a bunch of points, and we are given the function g of x and a bunch of points. So with this part A, f plus g of 0, don't forget that really just means f of 0 plus g of 0. Well, f at 0 is 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 plus g of 0 is 0, so 0 equals 3. Cool. Yay. F minus g of 2 is just f of 2 minus g of 2. So hopefully you guys are noticing that these aren't x's, right? So these kind of stand for your x values, right? So in order to do this one, we have f of 2. F of 2 is 0, so we have 0 minus g of 2, which looks like it's about 2. So minus 2, which would be negative 2. Same thing down here. This is just multiplication, so f of negative 1 times g of negative 1. Well, f of negative 1 looks like about 1. So I have 1 times g of negative 1 is also 1. 1 times 1 is 1. That kind of looks like a face too. Looks like a frog or something, I don't know. And then we have g of f of negative 2. So don't forget this stands for g of f of negative 2. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here is figure out my function value for f of negative 2. It looks like that is at 0, so I have negative 2, 0. So really this is saying g of 0, because f at negative 2 is 0, so I have g of 0, which then I go to my g function, and g of 0 is actually 0, because it's at the origin, so that whole thing is equal to 0. Okay, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. It's nice, short, and sweet, and I love you, and don't forget you my boos and bays, and I will see you guys in class, or another teacher will see you in class, or whatever. I hope you guys have a good one. Oh no, there's no monkey. No, there needs to be a monkey. 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 Yes. Bye-bye now.